when you're learning, even when you're learning incrementally, there's a process of letting go and a process of building. So when you learn something new, you have to let go of an old presupposition of some sort. And those presuppositions are alive because they're part of you. And part of what that means is that every element of learning in the face of something novel is often also an undoing of previous learning. And that's partly why the motif of death and rebirth is such a powerful one throughout human history. It's a primary mode of human, what would you...
A wise man once said, never say something, if somebody else had already said it better. But oftentimes I find that either A, you can't find a quote, or B, sometimes you got to rely upon yourself to relay your own message. So, with that being said, this here is a video about red pill rage. But ultimately, it's a video about paradigms. Now, I oftentimes speak of paradigms. A paradigm is what you think about something before you think about it. Like, for instance, if I asked you, how much salt should be in your diet and what does salt do to you, what would you say? You'd probably tell me about high blood pressure and how, salt causes heart disease, salt isn't good inside of your diet and all this type of shit. But the truth of the matter is that your paradigm is fucking wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I've done it wrong. Like, I've been an unhealthy vegan. Like, right now, I gotta stop fucking with sodium.
What's wrong with sodium?
Like, just high blood pressure wise.
That doesn't really happen. That's not
Doesn't?
real. No. See, that's another misconception. The misconception about sodium is that sodium is somehow or another the cause of high blood pressure. That was all put together by some bullshit-ass doctor.
As a child, your paradigms are put to you, right? You're told a lot of things in life, and you have ideas that are born and ideas that die as you get older. You're told about the Easter Bunny or fucking Santa Claus. And we don't really have a problem letting these things go. There's small parts of your childhood that you have to let die at a certain point. Because it seems silly as a man to still believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. But we still have the same basic principles about love and relationships and things of this nature that we had when we were fucking children. Like, we were always told by all these fucking kids movies and shit, where, you watch kids fall in love, they grew up and you figured they got old and became married and, stayed together forever, and that was how things operated. But this paradigm isn't a real fucking thing. So when you end up seeing the reality of the matter, man, it shatters your very being, and it's a very deep part of your being because you're willing to bet most of your motherfucking life on this ideology, right? You're willing to fucking lay out money for fucking cars and houses and give a female kids and do all these things for them. And as this ideology dies, you go through the stages of grief. You know what I'm saying? And it begins first off with denial. You never really think about it when it first happened. They call it denial and isolation, right? Like, you don't want to tell anybody what you're going through because, you want to act like it's not fucking happening. Like, you and your wife ain't about to get fucking divorced. Like, y'all ain't separating. You got that hope inside of your fucking head that shit'll just work out. And then you move into the anger phase where you're fucking angry and you're mad and you're pissed the fuck off. And this is what's known as red pill rage. And some people stay in this fucking phase for a long fucking time, man, because, as you're going through it, you tend to go into this phase when you go into the courtroom and you notice that you're not getting no fucking justice. And you watch them just sit there and rip your fucking kids out of your fucking arms and shit. And, you notice that you ain't seen your kids in fucking forever, and that's another part of the loss. If you have children, like in particular, if you have fucking children or even money, money in the house will do it, but children you really go through the stages of grief, you know what I mean? And then you go from fucking anger to more fucking, bargaining and shit. It's just when you're in court and you're like, man, look, man, just, I'll give you whatever you want, fucking whatever I don't give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, just, You know, don't fucking, you know what I mean, don't keep me away from my kids, you know what I mean? Whatever, give me some pussy, whatever. You'll try to start fucking rationing out the situation. You're trying to start making things a little bit better, you know what I mean? And it doesn't never fucking work, you know what I'm saying? And as you're sitting there and you realize that fucking bargaining ain't working, and this ain't something that you can fucking move, it's not something you can fucking change, it's a fucking boulder on you. You know what I mean? You got all this fucking money coming out of you and you don't know what the fuck you're gonna do. And man, listen, like, this is when motherfuckers start drinking and doing drugs and fucking bitches, and you just fall into that just raw, uncut depression. You stop showering, you stop shaving, you know, you fucking just, you don't give a fuck about shit. You know, you're sleeping on a fucking futon in a 1-bedroom apartment in some seedy ass fucking piece of shit apartment building, or some fucking basement apartment, some goddamn where, you know, and this is, you end up in that fucking, just that depression, and that's just that next step. And you stay there for a while, you know, you just fucking, God, man. You know, and then finally, like, maybe, just maybe, you know what I'm saying, you find some goddamn pussy to pull yourself the fuck out of it. You know, you fucking find God, whatever the fuck you got to do. You come to the church of Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga, and you pull yourself out of it, and you come to fucking acceptance that this is what it is. And it shouldn't even be called acceptance, because the truth of the matter is you wake up and you realize, you know, tomorrow's here, and it's going to be here again in 24 hours. You know, and if you continue to move forward and you put one foot in front of the other, you know what I mean, life will continue on. Now, does that mean you're still not angry? No. Does that mean you're still not hurt? No. Does that mean you're ever going to be the same again? No. You know what I mean? Fucking, it doesn't mean any of those fucking things. It just means that you realize that you have to move the fuck on. And you went through your stages of grief. You might be more bitter. You might be angry. You know, this isn't coming from somebody who ain't been through this. You know, like, you're talking to a guy who had the ability and actually did do some retarded shit. You know, I mean, you're not talking to somebody who, you know, just, you know, fucking didn't go through this type of shit. You know, you're talking to the guy who flipped the fucking table over in court. You're talking to the dude who ended up with an attempted vehicular manslaughter charge behind mine. You know, because I am a savage. And I'm telling you right now, none of it was worth it. Not an ounce. Because a few years later, once I became peaceful, once I calmed down, my kids were given to me. It wasn't even nothing I tried for. You know what I mean? I prepared myself properly, got in the proper position. You know what I mean? Made my motherfucking maneuvers properly, started thinking like a fucking man. And my children were given to me. You know, and that's the beautiful part of all of it, you know, is that once you realize what the game is and you become peaceful and you make peace with it, you know, like, I don't know, like, you fucking just become a better human being, you know what I mean? You're more bent, more broken, you're nothing misunderstood. You're bent, you're broke, you're fucked up, you know what I mean? You know that you can never trust another human being again, at least not the way you did, you know, and if you do, you're a goddamn fool. But that is where the red pill rage comes from, you know, and it's not just one of us, you know what I mean? It's 50% of the population goes through this. So a quarter of the population goes through this, and the rest of us watch them, you know what I mean? And the suicide rate is fucking like 15 times what it is for the regular population, for those who go through this. And this is where all this comes from. I figured I'd just make a video and break this down for y'all, man. Y'all know the situation. Do me a favor, share this content out if you enjoy it, all right? Peace be like one, man. Later. Bye.